So my purpose in life, I am thankful for as long as I've gone my journey. And in the fashion industry, my immediate family, my extended family. So I'm just grateful to God and having God around and seeing me through everything. Putting all that together, I would say that at least I've been able to put a legacy behind in the fashion industry. So that's something I think that I'm definitely grateful and proud of.
Lanre Da Silva Ajayi is a Lagos-based fashion designer considered to be one of Nigeria and Africa's leading couturiers. Launched in 2005, her eponymous label included couture, ready-to-wear, jewellery and hairpieces. After studying finance and business in the UK, Lanre changed her path to her calling in fashion. However, this did not happen overnight.
Growing up, I would say that I was quite someone that, talking to my mom, she said I was really inquisitive. And I was very particular about everything I did. Even my teachers loved, I would say intelligent. I was quite good with my academics right from a very early age. And I was always I always wanted to know more about things, growing up. So, and I'm the first child. So a lot of burden with Nigerian parents. When you're the first child, they want you to do everything, know everything. And there was something that used to happen then in Nigeria, that they would say double promotion. So they wanted you to jump classes, like you're too intelligent for this class, you move to the next class. I was one of those that went through that. And then as I grew older, having all that in mind, I used to think to myself what I would become. And Nigerian parents, very traditional ones I have, they wanted me to probably become like an engineer or work, be some kind of financial consultant or something relating, It wasn't a time where, like Nigeria of today, where creatives are all around the place and everybody's, it wasn't like that at all. I didn't even think of myself as a creative or anything then. I wanted to actually work in a proper office, so grew up Catholic, born in Nigeria. Loved growing up in Nigeria. Then it was more, you could walk around, do so many things together, I had friends.
You had quite a normal,
yes,
quite solid upbringing. But what I find quite interesting is that the Lanre we know today is celebrated globally for many accomplishments in fashion. And your educational background, though, is extremely different from what we know of you. You studied business administration at Coventry University, then you obtained a master's in finance at Leicester. Talk to me about that journey and why you transitioned so dramatically from finance and quite, serious disciplines to the creative, beautiful fashion house that you've literally taken over with.
Yeah, so this is it. My mom, being like a young growing child, felt that we needed to have like a bit of experience with aprons, little tops, things like that. So she taught me that. I had a sewing machine at about age of 7, 8. So I could do a lot of little things, and also in home economics in school. So I could sew very little things like that. And then with time, I progressed into making like little tops. Not something that, not very, very good quality, but it was good enough. So having that with me, having that sort of practice already, finishing from secondary school, going into university, I did my finance, but I always loved fashion. So this is what happened. Being in England, I look at all these beautiful clothes. I used to love to go to Portobello Market to shop. I loved
Portobello.
Do you know, I still go to Portobello Market. You can't, now there's all these stylists around, everybody is saying they've got a personal shopper. I still want to go into the shops and feel that experience, something that I love to do. So it's not like you're not forcing me to do it. It's something that I grew up with and I love it. And you see all these beautiful Victorian clothing and what they wore. They even show you some things. There are some special places where they have some jewelry, tops. I just love those things. So I always wanted to go back home and remake them and make them more modern. So I think, so my school of thought from when I was little, where I used to make like little aprons and all that, I felt I could make this clothes. So that's what I started doing. And then I go into hours, I look at the shopping windows. Obviously, there's how much do you have as a student. I always wanted to remake the items, so I'll go back and make them. And that was where this old fashion thing started.
And did you have the vision that, even though there's this dormant love for fashion and you're honoring your education by getting the masters, going through all the necessary hoops, did you ever think that love for fashion, where you're learning how to attach zips and learning little trinkets and bibs, did you ever think you would morph that into a leader in the fashion industry in Africa and projecting Africa to the rest of the world?
Wow, Peace, I had no idea. Honestly, I really am grateful for the embrace I got in the industry when I started, and the sort of confidence people had in the craft I had to give. Because when you make pieces, and the beauty of it is how it's the feedback to get and how it's appreciated. And at the beginning, it wasn't such a very easy journey for me, because people were not yet confident in the fashion industry. The fashion lovers were not yet there. Yeah. It's not what it is today.
Didn't really exist.
No way. In fact, there was someone I made an outfit for, and I will tell you, she had this outfit made, and we did the fittings, everything. I saw her at the event, and she wasn't wearing my piece. I was so down. At the time, she was just scared. She felt like when she gets into the room, it had a beep, that people would laugh at her.
Right.
So she didn't wear it. I know some things could actually sort of make you not continue. But because I felt the need that when you're different, you have something to offer. And I think that was one of the things that really helped me, because you would know a Lanre Da Silva Ajayi design when you see one.
I actually wanted to ask you about that, because the Lanre Da Silva Ajayi design, it really stands out by miles. And I've noticed when I look at your styles, it's actually very, as a British Ghanaian,
thank you.
Your style is extremely kind of Victorian, almost British.
And it's unique in a modern way.
Yes.
It's different.
What was the vision when you initially created the brand? What was the goal? How did you envision the Lanre Da Silva line?
Yes, so this is it. I wanted something different, and I felt like anything you do and it's unique, it's something that it's now your own, it's your own creative. And I wanted people to appreciate that and dress up in that manner. So for me, I felt like if I had 10, 15, it would multiply, or some people would come. So it was more of word of mouth when I started. And before I knew what was happening, people were beginning to, from 10 to 15, it became 25 to 50 to 100 to 150 to 200. And it was just so excited. Before I could say Jack Robinson, we were already going to the South Africa Fashion Week, Paris, Milan, New York, London, and the story just was endless. It was just one good thing to the next to the next.
Also, your pieces are high end, so what we would go to London and maybe spend at a Valentino or a Dior or any of those caliber of collection, that is what the Lanre Da Silva brand is to Africans and Nigerians and people globally. Now, in terms of at the time when you started, how did people respond to your fashion items being quite high-end priced?
Now, when I started, I didn't start with high-end prices. In fact, I will tell you that there were some pieces I made that I literally gave them out for free.
Right.
You know when, they will come.
And people are fighting you now to wear your pieces.
There was a dress I made for this lady, and she was complaining. I said, no, just wear it. Like, you would love it and everything. Literally, she took that dress more or less at no payment. But she later came and became a very good client and made a lot of, obviously, made a lot of purchases, and she paid monies. So at the beginning, I had to bring down my price.
Right.
Because, when you're introducing something new, and people are still thinking, oh, when I can go to London and buy it, or go, and then you compare your price. You don't start like that. So I had to be smart.
Yeah.
So I was smart with my pricing. It was a strategy. So once you get them hooked, then with time, you introduce the real price. That's what I did. So it was really smart of me at the beginning. I grew my clientele very quickly. And then over time, obviously, I used more expensive fabrics, and people got to see the real Lanre Da Silva Ajayi. And honestly, though, I want to do more ready-to-wear. But what I found in Nigeria is that part of my marketing strategy is that people don't like common, even when. So that's something I've come to realize in Nigeria. It's part of my strategy. So even if I'm doing ready-to-wear, I still will not do too many of it.
Yes.
Nigerians, we are a small, it's a big population, but everyone has where they buy their stuff.
Yes.
And we all love fashion. Up until even the Okada rider, if you look at them, they dress, everyone always looks very good. So, but we all have different places where we shop. So as much as possible, I will still say that I don't want to, because some people see me as just luxury, and
Yes.
they don't communicate with me, like, you know, when they hear, Lanre Da Silva Ajayi, no, let's look for someone else.
It's a name that you've actually worked hard to achieve. You've dressed presidents' wives. I know that you were actually one of the main people that actually dressed Aliko Dangote's daughter,
yes,
for her wedding, for high functions. You are always dressing the Dangote family, which is obviously the most wealthiest African man alive. And so that caliber of clientele consistently has put you head and shoulders above the rest. But I'm sure that's normal for you now, but when was the big breakthrough moment for the Lanre Da Silva Ajayi brand? When did you think, I've made it?
Wow, you know, because I'm actually a very hardworking girl, like I really, really put a lot into what I do, and relationships are very key for me. So over time, I made very good relationships with so many people, and so everyone felt a bit comfortable, I would say, you know, with me. And because when you dress a woman, you have to get into what they really want. You have to sit with them. You have to understand what the need is, how they want to be projected, how they want to look, and most importantly, what function. All of that is so key and important for me. So I would say that I think it was about 2009, 10. Okay. I think that was when I think things really picked up and people saw that this girl is here to stay.
How many years had you been practicing?
About 5 years.
Oh wow, right.
It's not easy in Nigeria.
What was the defining thing? What happened at the 5-year mark that made people go, Lanre is a household
There was
name?
Consistency.
Okay.
There was consistency, and then I sort of understood more how to make a very good collection and make it sound. You know, at the beginning, there's some things that, you know, I got a lot of training from so many lovely people. They're like, Lanre, we love your brand, but you know, there has to be a storyline behind this. You make beautiful items, you have to put it more. This is now looking more like a profession. So now I'm getting to a serious part angle.
Yeah.
So now I'm beginning to travel, look at shows properly, look at how lookbooks are being put together. And it's not just, oh, this is my idea, I love this fabric, I want to use it now. I like this one too, let me join it together.
Yeah,
so it was more, yes, so the process was more refined and was more thought through, as opposed to just, this is a passion. It's now no longer a passion, this is now a business, you know. And at that time I knew there had to be much more, there has to be think through it. Okay, what fabrics are you using for this collection? Do your sketches. What is the color sequin for it? What are the things they're putting together? So at that time, I did that show, and it was, I mean, it was extremely fantastic. It was the Arise show that year, and it was so much more, very well received, very well received.
Her passion for the industry is her major driving force to work hard all the time. Lanre's style is rich in femininity and uses a multitude of embellishments. In 2011, Da Silva presented her collection at the New York Fashion Week. Seen as an African luxury brand, her clothing line has been sold at Dolce & Gabbana's concept store in Milan. In 2012, she is one of the 2 designers asked to join the United Nations Fashion Development Project, which helps support her continent's luxury industry. You know, a lot of people who have had international collaborations like yourself all over the world, and had even the likes of Naomi Campbell catwalk in your fashion and your designs, which is a huge, huge milestone. One of the major things you highlight that took you to the top was just business-minded with your passion and consistency. Now, that kind of leads me on to my next thought or question, because there's a lot of upcoming designers that have a natural flair like you did for fashion. How did you actually, and what would you be your advice, for young upcoming designers to actually realize that this passion needs to become a business and it needs to be harnessed over a consistent, extended period of time to achieve that level of greatness?
Wow, so this is it. You see, the designers today, they've got a natural flair for the industry. One of the key things I want them to understand is that they have to put a little hard work into it.
Yeah.
I feel like social media is almost, as much as it has its own advantages, there's also a bit of disadvantage to it because they feel entitled so quickly. So I feel if you love something, if you're passionate about it, if you put your mind to it, you put a business idea, because there's no excuse for you to start off now and not be thinking of a business side to it. I didn't look at it at the beginning like that, but obviously over time I saw that, Lanre, this is something that you need to be more serious with. But today they start off and want to even go to fashion school. Not like myself, where I did business administration to finance, and I'm now doing a bit of fashion here and there before I went to schooling later and made myself much more trained for it. So most of them start off going to the school itself for fashion. They've got mentors. I know I've mentored some of these young designers, and so I would say to them to be, the business ideas to be definitely implemented. They have to be consistent with it, and they have to be unique with what they are doing. I'm not saying that you don't get inspiration from designers or from looking at books, but as much as you're inspired, part of my success story today is uniqueness and creativity. If I didn't have something distinct to give, I don't think I would have been in this industry for this long and be able to sustain this long over time, the period of time I've been. It's actually about 15 years this year.
Wow.
Which is a long time for you to sustain any kind of business in Nigeria.
You've done a good job to actually be able to sustain it and
still be relevant.
Extremely relevant. In fact, the go-to brand amongst the others.
Thank you.
What is your take though on the Nigerian business environment at the moment? Because there's an increase in VAT amongst other challenges. So how do you think entrepreneurs can navigate this environment to be able to actually survive? Because with all these changes that are being instilled, you are seeing businesses dropping like flies. How do you survive these different government changes and initiatives?
You know, like I said, the entrepreneur industry is definitely part of the growth of the economy of Nigeria today. Nigerian women, and I'm not trying to be biased there, are into so many different things, from fashion itself to accessories to makeup to hair, everything you can think about. You know, we are pushing the boundaries. So I feel that as long as that continues, we try not to want to think of what is really happening in government, which is part of what is actually making us stronger. Obviously, the dollar change, what's going on with VAT, will affect us, but what is also, again, helping us is that we are very hardworking. If you can survive in Nigeria, you can survive anywhere in the world. This is a country that I don't want to be anywhere else but in Nigeria. I mean, I want to take holidays and do stuff, but I love Nigeria. So we have the tenacity to push. We have the ability to, no matter what's going on, we still make it happen. That's something that we have in Nigeria. So I think that definitely helps us to not limit what we want to achieve. It makes us strong. It makes us just want to get to the top of anything we're doing. So regardless of what's going on, they said suffering and smiling. I think that definitely goes with us in Nigeria. That motto goes with every Nigerian.
I think that you have really suffered, but also built your way to the top. What would you say your purpose in life is?
My purpose in life. That's interesting. I'm married, I've got 2 kids, and I'm very grateful for that because along the journey, I've been able to keep that and have a very good family unit. So I after that, very strong Catholic Christian. Just recently, I was the chairman for Unusual Praise one of the biggest Catholic gatherings in Nigeria. And I'm really into doing a lot of things in church.
Yeah.
I tend to mentor as many people I can mentor. So over time, I keep some good friends around me that sort of, put me through. I'm very close to my mom. My dad is late. He passed on 5 years ago. And he was very hardworking, put a lot of discipline in me. So my purpose in life, I am thankful for as long as I've gone in my journey. And in the fashion industry, my immediate family, my extended family. So I'm just grateful to God and having God around and seeing me through everything. I'm just grateful for all of those achievements. And putting all that together, I would say that at least I'm able to put a legacy behind in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
So that's something I think that I'm definitely grateful and proud of. And I mean, even when I talk to my kids and younger entrepreneurs today, I let them understand that when you look at the glamour, there's a lot that goes on behind, backstage.
Yeah.
And don't just look at, even till today, when I'm working, I'm still very, very hands-on. And so it's nothing that comes well is easy. So I really, really feel like everyone should be much aware of that. There's nothing that you'll be successful at that is just a walk in the park.
What would you say, though, to the young woman that is aspiring to be like yourself, that has received almost your message, that nothing's as easy as it seems, but you will do it with beauty and grace and the height of fashion? With that purpose message being translated to the younger generation, what would you say to the young entrepreneur that is trying to have it all? And when I say have it all, there's a cliche term where they refer to women of having their wife, being a wife, a mother, and then having a thriving business or career. How are you able to balance that all? And what would be your advice to the young woman that is aspiring to follow in your footsteps?
My advice is that as much as possible, relationships are very key with your clients and how you manage your time. And you can still achieve all of this and still keep your family unit, depending on the kind of man you get married to. Some men are so traditional in Nigeria. So it all depends, it varies for everyone. But as much as possible, all this can still be achieved if you are actually passionate about the industry. Because the fashion industry in Nigeria, anything you do in Nigeria can actually frustrate you.
Yeah.
You can get to the point where even clients could frustrate you. But if it's something you're passionate about, you're going to find a way to work around it. So there's really no right or wrong answer to it. It's just that you have to keep your head, no matter what, like I always say, the client is always right. And people sometimes will say, client is always right, some of them are difficult. You just have to manage them. There's a way you manage. It's not easy. Some of our Nigerian clients are quite difficult, and they would push you to almost not wanting to do what you're doing. So you don't get to that point, you just try. There are times when I wanted to stop. There have been times like that where I was really, really fed up. I remember that I had to travel, I left some work behind, I came back, they did almost the opposite of what I had said, and I just wanted to just throw the towels in and I'm done. So there'll be times like that, but it's for you to have the right people around you, the support system, all of that helps in this country. Your mom, extended family, sisters, siblings, however it is, husband, and all of that. All those things actually come true for you, depending on those you have strong ties with. So all of that it's a normal way, because for women, in the past, women are meant to just be at home. My mom actually worked for a while, but eventually, to bring us up and everything, she stopped work. But today, I'm not stopping work. But I'm just managing myself together, which is, that's why I keep saying that the life, this century, this time, the millennium children, like they call themselves the millennial kids. It's a different era. Things have changed. When you look at the social media, the system, everything has changed. So someone coming into the industry even today is so much competitive. So they need to bring a lot to the table to compete. When I started, it was new. I brought something different. It was unique, and I'm happy I'm relevant today. So I'm talking to someone, I'm saying, you can't just start the way I started anymore. You have to be more competitive. You have to still bring something new, which is almost impossible because what is new?
Yeah.
Please think about it. What haven't you won? Can you answer this question for me? What is new in Nigeria? Like, it's so difficult, but you still have to just push.
Yeah.
If it's, I keep telling people that you have to know your niche.
Yeah.
That's something I must tell the young designer community. Do you want to make for men? Is it for women? Is it for children? Is it just identify? Because sometimes they don't identify, they just move around. So identify your niche market. Who do you want to make stuff with? What kind of fabrics do you want to be known for? All of those things will help mold you into what you want to be. Because I knew where I was going. I wanted to do Victorian era, I wanted to do fashion, I wanted to use lace, I wanted to do something different. And that worked for me. So, but if I wasn't passionate about that idea, I won't be here today. So people have to know where they really want to. Just don't start. If you want to do menswear, do menswear. Yeah. And be good at it.
So it's about knowing your brand, your demographic that you're aiming for, and then
very important.
Stopping at nothing to achieve that goal.
That's it.
And balance, I guess.
And balance. Very
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
You're phenomenal.
Thank you.
And I look forward to going through your wardrobe and finding some
really
amazing stuff.
Please do, by all means.
Your showroom is amazing, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Peace.
Success, as we all know, is a learning curve that comes with patience, perseverance, hard work, and endurance, something that Lanre knows all too well. She has been at the forefront of African couture, even at a time where there was no investments or infrastructure to succeed, and has continued to evolve her brand globally against all odds.
Nothing that comes well is easy. Everyone should be much aware of that. There's nothing that you'll be successful at that is just a walk in the park.